Hey, you guys, this is Rashawn Ellis just checking in with you for news, views, and conversations. Just want to pop in real quick and give you a little bit of the information that I have on Michael Jeffries, who is the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. As we are understanding now, he has now been brought up under Smex trafficking charges as well. It's a lot going on here. From what I understand, he has been released already on bail for $1 million. And of course, we're watching and paying attention. Diddy's still in jail, and he tried to post bail for 50 million, and he has still not been released. But we're going to continue to, play everything by ear, watch it, and see how it all falls out. I know I stated in my previous videos, we're going to be here for a minute. We're going to be here for a long minute as all this information is coming out about the different high-profile celebrities. A lot going on. They've been partying really, really hard, so much so a lot of people are about to be found out. And as I understand it as well, a lot of them are paying to keep from being found out. So we're going to see what happens. But I want to give you a little bit of what I found out about Jeffries and his defendants as well. Defendants allegedly arranged for dozens of men to travel to New York and hotels around the world for Smex events. A 16-count indictment was unsealed in federal court in Central Islip, charging former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Michael Jeffries, along with Matthew Smith and James Jacobson, with sex trafficking and engaging in interstate prostitution. The indictment alleges that between December 2008 and March 2015, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson used a combination of force, fraud, and coercion to traffic men while operating a prostitution enterprise. All three defendants were arrested. Jeffries and Smith are scheduled to make their initial appearance in federal court in the Southern District of Florida. And Jacobson is scheduled to make his initial appearance in federal court in St. Paul, Minnesota. They will be arraigned in the Eastern District of New York at a later date. So, of course, these gentlemen have already been released on bail. Excuse me, I shouldn't say gentlemen in this case. They got a lot going on. But they've already been released on bail, as I stated earlier, for $1 million, I believe, for Jeffries. Not completely clear about the other men, but I'm sure at this point they are all out so they can go and plead their case. Breon Peace, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, James E. Denny, Assistant Director in Charge, New York Field Office, FBI, and Thomas G. Dunlin, Interim Commissioner, New York City Police Department, announced their arrest and the charges. As alleged in the indictment, former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Michael Jeffries, his partner Matthew Smith, and their recruiter James Jacobson used their money and influence to prey on vulnerable men for their own sexual gratification, stated United States Attorney Peace. Today's arrest shows that my office and our law enforcement partners will not rest until anyone who engages in sex trafficking or interstate prostitution, regardless of their wealth or power, is brought to justice. This is something that I stated in one of my other videos about wanting something so bad, wanting to, achieve your dreams, to no matter what you have to do. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I understand, which is why I've chosen to move the way I move. I never want to be too thirsty or too hungry for any opportunity. When people feel like you want something so bad, they can dangle the carrot. They can dangle the pork chop in your face to, see what will you do. And because they have money, they have power, they have influence, they can do whatever they want. So they think this is what happens to the ones that are not the big guy, the smaller guys that are trying to get on top, trying to get where they're going. This is what you're faced with. So you got to know how to say no. Just like Cat Williams said, you got to say no. You got to tell them no because it's not worth it. And this here also adds to mental health. As you go on in your career field, you don't want to be doing stuff like this just to get on. If it's meant for you to get on, God will create a way for you to get on, but this is not the way to do it. Today's indictment highlights the alleged abhorrent behavior of Michael Jeffries, Matthew Smith, and James Jacobson. The defendants allegedly preyed on the hopes and dreams of their victims by exploiting, abusing, and silencing them to fulfill their own desires with insidious secret intentions. This case is yet another example of individuals using their wealth, power, or reputation to manipulate and control others for their personal gratification. The FBI and our partners won't allow these criminal acts to go unchecked. We remain committed to investigating and bringing these cases forward to prosecution, stated the FBI Assistant Director in charge, Diddy. If convicted of these sex trafficking charges, the defendants each face a maximum of sentence of life imprisonment and a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years imprisonment. If convicted of interstate prostitution charges, the defendants face a maximum sentence of 20 years imprisonment. So it just goes to show you at the end of the day, it's not worth it on either end. It's not worth it either if you're trying to get in, trying to get that dream, fulfilled. This is what you're faced with at the door. And then you got these guys here, they know their position and their power that they hold. They're using it to get what they want, sexually, gratifying themselves with individuals that they know want an opportunity. So this is why I say it's just best to take the scenic route. You're sure to get there. And if you got God in front of you, you can definitely get there. So I just wanted to bring this to you. I'm going to play you the clip of what I got from Murad Merali. He's very awesome with all the information that we get through entertainment. So I just want to share that with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys back on next week. Hope you had a great weekend.
Ex-Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries has been arrested. A huge ring that he was controlling, sick and twisted. Hey guys, it's Murad Merali. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Back at it again with another video. If you have not subscribed, guys, click that button. It is daily and consistent content, and let's get straight into this video. Is Diddy snitching? Is Diddy snitching is always the question that I have on my mind, because we had one big music executive that also lived in Miami that went down less than 4 days ago. He was arrested, and now we have Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries and also 2 business associates that have also been arrested for a ring that they have basically been undertaking and controlling with their sick, twisted fantasies for a very long time, harming so many young boys. I just feel like Diddy snitching because the allegations of this lawsuit, which I'm going to read out to you guys thoroughly, is very similar to what Diddy has also been accused of. And I would just feel like he would be saying something to reduce his sentence, but then at the same time, surely court reporters and legal documents would state that Diddy is doing this. So I don't know. But I want to read through. This man looks ridiculous. I'm so sorry. This man looks crazy. But I'm going to read through everything. It's between Michael Jeffries and 2 associates, Matthew C. Smith and James Jacobson. All 3 of them were running a ring for multiple young boys approximately from 2008 to 2015. A trigger warning, guys, for all of you, because this is a lot to get into, but of course I'm going to get through this lawsuit and cover everything in 10 minutes. From approximately 2008-2015, Michael Jeffries, Matthew C. Smith and James Jacobson, together with others, operated an international trafficking ring and prostitution business. During this period, Jeffries and Smith relied on their vast financial resources and the power. Mike Jeffries is the CEO of Abercrombie and numerous people, including a network of employees, to fulfill their desires. It looks like they would find young boys, men, pay for dozens of men from somewhere again, and bring them to various locations in England, France, Italy, Morocco, and St. Bartholomew for the purpose of engaging in commercial sex acts with Jeffrey Smith and others at what they called sex events, which is basically another word for freak-offs. The defendants, through the JFO, recruited, hired and paid an exclusive set of household staff to facilitate and supervise these events. Where are the staff? They need to be arrested as well, as far as I'm concerned. At the direction of the defendants, the staff were present at, observed, and acted as security, including controlling entry and exit. The boys were given poppers, lubricant, Viagra, and condoms, amongst other items. They were told to wear costumes, use sex toys, or prepare for particular acts for people. The defendant, James T. Jacobson, traveled throughout the US and internationally to recruit and interview men for these events. During tryouts of potential candidates, Jacobson typically required the candidates first engage in acts with him before he approves certain people. Then they would, use deceptive tactics and fraudulent connections to bring them higher and transport them to places. And of course, then they would threaten them with basically saying that this would yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie or otherwise benefit their careers. that not complying with the request for certain acts could harm their careers, including by, amongst other things, referring directly and indirectly to modeling opportunities that simply just did not exist. They would also physically groom the men and require men to relinquish their personal items, to sign NDAs, and they specifically, guys, would recruit heterosexual men because they wanted to find people who were unwilling to engage in these acts, especially anal. Wow. They pressured men to consume alcohol, Viagra, and muscle relaxants, required the presence of the staff during the sexual activity. On more than one occasions, they directed others to or personally injected men in their penises with a prescription-grade erection-inducing substance for the purpose of causing the men to engage in acts in which they otherwise physically were incapable of doing, notwithstanding the fact that these injections were not medically indicated and frequently caused the men to suffer painful physical reactions that lasted for several hours. Lord. On more than one occasion, the defendants and Matthew engage in acts and continue to engage in acts or cause men to engage in acts, including but not limited to penetration and the use of high-pressure enemas to which the men did not or were unable to consent. And there are 16 counts of this. Wow. 16 counts, guys, dating from December 2008 to October 2012 are these approximate date ranges for 15 different John Does, 16 different counts, 2 for 1 John Doe. Wow. So the CEO ex-Abercrombie, Mike Jeffries, has been arrested. Thank the Lord, this man has been arrested. Absolute devil. And his associates have also been arrested as well. I didn't know that there were associates being arrested. I feel like Mike was already being looked into. There was already questions about Abercrombie and Fitch anyways. So maybe it wasn't Diddy that snitched. I don't know why, but since Diddy was arrested, 12 music executives resigned the next day. You have a big music executive in Miami who was running this big trafficking ring. And then, of course, you have another one, Mike Jeffries, and 2 of his associates have also gone down. I don't know why I think this is related to Diddy. Maybe it's just my, maybe I'm linking things that don't make sense, but I feel like Diddy would also be at these freak-offs. Diddy was also doing the same thing that Mike Jeffries was doing. These men are doing so much insanely disgusting, powerful stuff like this, selling people off left, right, and center, transporting them for their sick, twisted desires that they want fulfilled, and they will hire young boys, young men to do stuff like this. Believe me, I'm speaking from experience, guys. I am very much speaking from experience. Most of, if not all, should know what happened to me and how public it was and etc. But nobody was upset at the grown men who would beat me, drug me, etc. I very well can understand what these young boys have gone through, and I'm glad that they are coming out with a lawsuit, and I'm glad that Mike Jeffries has been arrested, and he looks like he's about to be indicted as well. It's definitely serious charges that he's going to be facing, definitely jail time, and I'm glad. Listen, I so badly wanted to work at Abercrombie and Fitch, and I used to always give my CV and your work CV, whatever you call it in America, and then I would get an interview, and luckily I just didn't take it last minute due to like school related stuff. So even though they wanted me there, because I just couldn't do it for school. Thank the Lord, man. Thank the Lord. His lawyer responds, Brian Bieber, and says, "We will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media." Abercrombie and Fitch said at the time that the company was appalled and disgusted by the claims, adding it hired an outside law firm to conduct a review. Every day it's a review, and you want to do the review after he was arrested. Okay, so we'll wait to see what the indictment says and when it's been unsealed, but absolutely disgusting that this is what Mike Jeffries was doing and his associates, transporting men, injecting things into their penises so that they could have an unwanted erection even though they did not want to, and then severe pain afterwards, and if they didn't do it, they would lose jobs in the future even though those jobs did not exist. Devilish nonsense, controlling young boys and men like this, and absolutely they're suffering right now. I'm glad they've come forth with him. I'm glad they've come forth with this. I'm glad that Mike Jeffries has been arrested. Cat Williams didn't lie, baby. Cat Williams didn't lie. And this is why I think Diddy is snitching, because we all know that Cat Williams does not lie. He said recently on his comedy tour a couple of weeks ago that Diddy is going to be singing for the hills and snitching on a lot of people. Of course, it would make sense to snitch on the people who run these networks and control stuff and move stuff and are part of these huge networks in different industries. industries. I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy's giving selective names to people, or selective hints, selective intel, selective information to help facilitate the FBI stuff so that he gets a reduced sentence because he knows he's already going to go to jail anyways. I don't know, but I definitely feel like Cat Williams did say everything in that interview with Shannon Sharpe that very much came true, but Cat Williams also did say that Diddy was going to be snitching. So for those of you who think that Diddy ain't snitching, well, you know, but you agree with Cat also said that Diddy will be snitching. So to me, it looks like there's some snitching, and that's what Diddy's doing. That's what is given to me very much so, because it's way too coincidental that all of these people are getting arrested or resigning, or the people that get arrested run trafficking rings, and the people that get arrested have associates getting arrested too. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it just could be an FBI find, but with Diddy being arrested and Diddy and him being, accused of the same stuff, it all just blurs lines that I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy attended these sex events, because Diddy also was doing the same thing during his model-related company clothing line, Sean John, whatever the hell you want to call it. He would hire models for Sean John and then tell them that I want you for this freak off. That literally is in lawsuits. So he was doing the same thing that Mike Jeffries was doing. They were literally doing the same stuff, guys. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this video. Do subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. It's just one click to subscribe. That's all you guys have to do. Yeah, it's a lot, guys. Cat Williams, I don't know what it is about this year, but everything is just literally on 100 miles an hour. We can't get a break, man. We cannot get a break.